Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to share my top 10 most disappointing reads of the year, and you're going to be shocked because these are some really beloved books. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of today's video, Ana Luisa. You guys know I absolutely love Ana Luisa. You always see me on Instagram, in my vlogs, my videos, wearing Ana Luisa, usually necklaces, sometimes earrings. Today I'm here to show you 3 beautiful new pairs of earrings that they sent me. I absolutely love everything on their website. Right now they're having a huge sale, one of their biggest of the entire year. Buy one, get one 60% off. What I love about Ana Luisa is not only do I think that their pieces are super versatile, you could dress them up, you can dress them down, you can wear them on a date night, you can wear them to a cocktail party, you can go out and have drinks with your girlfriend, you can wear them around the house or to go shopping and run errands. I just think that they elevate an outfit, make you look a little bit more put together, so you don't have to do that much effort. Look, my hair is in a ponytail, I'm wearing a cardigan and a tank top, and I look so cute thanks to Ana Luisa. It's like designer jewelry, not a designer price. They have pieces as low as $39, and with that sale you can save even more. Check out their website. I will have the information linked in the description box down below. I absolutely love them. I don't think there's one piece on their site that I wouldn't love. Now let's go ahead and jump into the books. The first book I want to mention is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. This is one that I have had on my radar for years. Ever since it released, and I actually had my copy ever since it released because it was just getting early buzz, and then year after year after year people were raving about this book. It is a dystopian book, but it also has to do kind of with a pandemic, like a flu pandemic. And I thought, yeah, let's go ahead and read this right now. So I read it back during the Backlist Readathon, and I rated it 3 stars, so I didn't hate it by any means. It has a kind of present and future timeline, and or a present and a past timeline, but how it was told was very confusing, and I didn't like jumping back and forth, the past and the present. And I would just get settled into one of the timelines and then it would jump to either or. And I definitely enjoyed the present, the dystopian part of the story more than the past, what things looked like before things got the way they were. There were some interesting bits. It was definitely much more nuanced than I thought it was going to be, but it's mainly about this like traveling symphony of people and how the world is now, what it looks like after this pandemic swept through. It kind of reminds me a little bit of The Walking Dead without zombies though. I don't know if that makes sense. I didn't like the skipping around of timelines. I think I would have enjoyed it more if it was a linear timeline, like if it started before the flu and then went through to the end. And it had an ambiguous ending, and I wasn't really a fan of that in that particular book. The next one, Eliza and Her Monsters. I wanted to love this one too, especially because it does have anxiety rep in it, and that's something that I deal with as well. I did like the representation, I will say that, and it did have like a mixed media format, like pictures and emails and text messages, and I thought that was pretty cool. And I don't know if I didn't like connect to the story because it is a YA story, young adult story, about this girl that writes like a webcomic, and then this guy that's like a super fan of the webcomic, and kind of like their meeting and stuff like that. I don't know if it's because I don't read much YA anymore, but I remember people raving about this, saying, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. And I just thought that the families of Wallace and Eliza were it was like they were polar opposites, but both of the families got on my nerves for like different reasons. And it just kind of took away from the main storyline of what was going on. So I don't know if it tried to pack too much in or if it was just the YA thing that I didn't connect to. But I ended up rating that one 3 stars as well. So it wasn't terrible, just wasn't my favorite. Luna Out of Order, and this is one that was recommended to me specifically from Jacqueline, and she had been talking about it several times on my podcast, and just every time we met up and asked her for book recommendations and things like that, she always recommended this book. And I kind of found out this year that I don't like alternate timelines or realities or things like that, time travel-esque things. Like, I don't really like dark matter. Maybe In Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid was like my least favorite book of Taylor Jenkins Reid. Game Changer by Neal Shusterman. The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, and this one, they all kind of have that similar theme or trope, and it's just not one that I ever see myself really enjoying in any of the books. I understand that the concept of this book was for it to be out of order. So the timeline was out of order. She would be 18 in one part, and then, 85 in the next, and then 33. So she was living her life. The character was literally living her life out of order. She didn't know what came before it or what is to come after it. She would like leave herself notes and all of that. So not my thing. It was just very different than I was expecting, and I kind of realized after reading that book, okay, I don't really like this trope. All right, another one, you guys probably are not going to be surprised because I think a lot of us were let down by this one. That is Hairpin Bridge by Taylor Adams. Taylor Adams wrote No Exit. If you didn't know, that is my favorite thriller of all time. I need to reread it to like confirm because I have a really strong contender for my favorite book this year. I kind of want to reread both. But No Exit was like this magical thriller. Hairpin Bridge, I was literally so excited for it, and the writing felt so different, where I felt like there were so many different layers and it was so thrilling in No Exit. Hairpin Bridge was like, it was like the song that never ends, and it goes on and on again. I just felt like I was reading the same thing over and over again. And yes, the character made dumb decisions. I know that was a lot of people's complaint. That wasn't really my complaint. I don't mind dumb characters doing dumb things. But that one was just like, I don't know. It was isolated, but it didn't feel isolated, and I don't know. I didn't like it. The next book is one that everybody was raving about. White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. I haven't found my grounding with Tiffany D. Jackson yet. Partly because she writes YA. I've only read 2 books by her. I have a third, and I'm still going to read it because I'm excited about it. Her synopsises always pull me in. The covers are always gorgeous. And I want to support her and love her books so bad. I know some of my friends, like, she is their favorite author. This book was supposed to be that haunted house ghost story that I wanted. What I do love that Tiffany D. Jackson does is she talks about social commentary alongside her stories. However, for some reason, she never seamlessly weaves the story that she's trying to tell and these social commentary bits together well enough. It feels like, hey, here's the story I'm trying to tell, but oh yeah, legalize weed, or whatever the case may be. In the case of White Smoke, it was definitely talking about a lot of different things. But what really bothered me was the repetition of the weed talk, the bed bugs, and there was this like reverend on TV that was always droning on and on and on. And the ending wasn't really as shocking as I wanted it to be. It just felt like, of course that's what it was. And I was never like truly freaked out or spooky. Like I wasn't spooked. And I think just because, like, again, I'm an adult, and if you're going to start a book with this family moves into this free home, I'm going to stop you right there, because that's a red flag for me. And I just didn't like how long it took to get to certain like plot points. So unfortunately, I did not like this one. I rated it 2 stars. Again, I think it's more of a me thing than a general consensus, because I know a lot of you guys have really enjoyed it, and that's great. I also talked about not really vibing with The Drowning Kind by Jennifer McMahon. This is one that I read in October because I have been trying to explore horror. Same thing with White Smoke. I've been trying to explore horror this year, and this is an author that's really loved in the bookish community. And I tried Winter People, and I stopped after a few chapters. I DNF'd it last year, and so I tried The Drowning Kind this year because it was getting rave reviews, even by people that don't like horror. And I figured out in this book that her writing is not my thing. I do not like Jennifer McMahon's writing. The books that I have picked up or I've heard about or read about always seem to be dual timeline. The Winter People was, The Drowning Kind was, and I don't really like that in her writing. Also, just her descriptions don't really make sense, and they don't have to, but like that bothers me when I'm reading it. For example, in this one, like I said, there's a past, and there's 2 different timelines. And it's basically centers around this body of water and all of these things that took place around this like body of water, that in the past they talk about it being like a cure-all, like it's like this miracle water. And then in the present, I guess it's this pool on this estate. And how they described the water, I would never in a million years swim in this water. I would never drink this water. I would never step foot near this water. It sounds disgusting. They always talked about how dark the water was and how it was bottomless, and this is like a swimming pool in someone's backyard. And to me, when the one character goes, I guess it used to be her grandmother's house and then it was her parents' house or something, I don't know. But basically, they never like found the bottom. I'm like, pools have bottoms, so I'm not understanding. Like, it just, I don't know. It was too odd for me. So yeah, I didn't like that one. All right, next up, I want to say that I finally read and tried Brother by Anya Alborn this spooky season, and I didn't really love it as well. And that's because it's more of a character-driven story than a plot-driven story. It does have a plot, but the plot definitely takes a backseat to the characters and the family, specifically the main character. And it did have some spooky bits in there that I was just like, oh. And I do have a dedicated reading vlog just reading that one book, because I know you guys were really interested in my thoughts and my feels as I was reading it. So I do have that available on my channel. But overall, the writing was good. It was just slower paced because it was character driven, and that's not my cup of tea usually. All right, next up, Local Woman Missing. Everybody was talking about how awesome it was, how it's like the must-read thriller of the year, and I didn't get it. It has a couple of different timelines going for it. I thought that it was either the prologue or the first chapter was literally the most exciting thing of the entire book, and I didn't really care about much that was going on. Plus, it was kind of confusing. I think there were too many characters. Yeah, I don't want to dwell on it too long. It just wasn't my thing. So I read this earlier in the year. It's been a while, but Who is Maurice Dixon? This had the ability to be really, really good, but I just thought, I think it's the author's debut if I'm not mistaken, and I will keep this author on my radar moving forward because it's not like I hated the book. It's just that it was really, really hyped. Like, this is going to be the best mystery of the year. And I know a lot of people really do enjoy it and love it. I just liked it. You know, I didn't love it as much. So that's why it's on this list. It did have some shocking points, and I did like the mysterious element of this one woman that ends up working for Maurice Dixon. Nobody knows who this Maurice Dixon character is, and then she meets her and starts working for her, and you know, stuff like that. I thought that was very interesting. A little bit predictable, but there were some shocking things. Just not my favorite. I didn't love it as much as like you guys told me I was gonna love it. And the last one, you guys are going to be really shocked because I don't think you've really heard my thoughts on it, is In My Dreams, I Hold a Knife by Ashley Winstead. This one was not it, you guys. I feel like all of you lied to me. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, best thriller of the year. And no, it wasn't actually. There was no like heart pumping moments. It wasn't thrilling. It was more character driven than plot driven, although I think it did a better balance of being both. It had one of the most annoying characters ever, and it did have slight academia vibes, but not really. And it was a classic story. It wasn't anything new or different. It's basically a group of friends from college. Something happened, you know, somebody dies, and then years later there's a reunion and they're trying to figure out what really happened. I mean, I've read about that in several books, so I don't know what it was about this particular story that really pulled people in. That being said, it's not that I hated it. I just definitely didn't connect to it how a lot of you guys did. And I guess what like was an extra little like annoyance factor was that I did read that book physically because there was no audiobook available. So that was extra annoying to me. So is that petty? Yes, maybe, but here we are. Anyway, those are the 10 books that were my most disappointing reads of the year. Some I did not like. Some were just disappointing because of all of the hype. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check the links in the description box to check out Ana Luisa and save big this holiday season. You still have time, you guys. I promise you. Go ahead, check them out. Get yourself a cute pair of earrings. You know, think about for your sister, your mom, your girlfriend, your significant other. But again, that's all for today's video. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're all having a lovely day or night, and I'll see you guys again in another video very soon. Bye guys.